Let me ask you something. Do you really think you were put on this planet just to blend in, to play small, to sit quietly while life passes you by? Absolutely not. Not born average, and deep down, you know it. You weren't born to wake up dreading your day. You weren't born to live for the weekend. You weren't born to settle for good enough when your heart is screaming for greatness. Listen closely. Every dream, every idea, every spark of desire inside you, it's not random. It's a signal, a wake-up call. Your potential is knocking on the door, and it's not going to wait forever. You were not born to blend in. You're built to stand out. That's not just a nice phrase. It's a fact that's been buried under years of conditioning. Comparison, conformity. From the moment we start to grow up, we're taught to follow the rules, stay in line, keep quiet, don't make a fuss, don't be too loud, don't shine too bright. Here's the thing. Every time you silence your voice to fit in, every time you hide your ideas to avoid judgment, every time you minimize your wins to make others comfortable, you are rejecting your own brilliance. You were born with something that no one else on this planet has, your story, your lens on life. And yet, so many people spend their lives trying to copy someone else's path. They look around, measure themselves by what others are doing, try to duplicate the formula of success they think is safe. But you can't win someone else's race. You can only win yours. And the moment you realize that your power lies not in fitting into the mold, but in breaking it, everything starts to shift. Standing out doesn't mean being loud or flashy. It means being real. It means being unapologetically who you are, even if it makes others uncomfortable. It means showing up with your full personality, your bold ideas, your passion, especially when it's easier to water it down. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs you. The full, unfiltered version of you. Standing out is uncomfortable. It comes with risk. It means stepping into rooms where you might be misunderstood, laughed at, or criticized. And that's exactly why most people don't do it. They stay in the middle. They follow the crowd. They keep their heads down and hope to be liked. But being liked is not the same as being respected. And you don't earn respect by playing it safe. You earn it by standing for something, by daring to be different, by being willing to lead. Even when it's lonely. When you blend in, you disappear. When you conform, you become invisible. But when you show up as your true self, you become undeniable. People may not agree with you, but they will remember you. They will feel your energy, see the fire in your eyes that only lights up when you are being authentic. The truth is, every breakthrough, every innovation, every movement that ever changed the world came from someone who refused to blend in. Someone who said, I see things differently, and I won't apologize for it. That same power lives in you. But it requires courage. It requires that you stop asking for permission to be yourself. It requires that you stop dimming your light to make others feel better. You're not here to play small. You're here to challenge norms, break barriers, and raise standards. You're here to inspire others not by following the script, but by writing your own. People you admire most, they're not special in some magical way. They just had the guts to be themselves when it mattered most. Standing out is a choice. It's a daily decision to trust your instincts, honor your voice, and act on your beliefs, even when it's easier to conform. That decision doesn't require perfection. It requires boldness. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stop hiding. Because the longer you try to blend in, more distant you become from the life you were meant to live. Average is a choice, not your destiny. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. We've been fed the idea that life is what happens to us, that some people are born lucky, talented, connected, and the rest of us just have to accept what we get. That's a lie. The difference between average and extraordinary doesn't come down to genetics, circumstances, or luck. It comes down to choices. Daily, moment-to-moment decisions that either push you forward or hold you back. Average is comfortable. It's safe. It doesn't ruffle feathers. Doesn't demand anything scary or uncertain. It allows you to coast. You do just enough to get by. You keep your head down. You stay quiet in meetings. You settle in relationships. You tolerate work that drains you. And slowly, without realizing it, you become a watered-down version of who you were meant to be. And then wonder why they feel stuck, why they feel restless, why nothing feels fulfilling. It's because you were never designed for average. And your soul knows it. Average is everywhere. It's normalized. It's even rewarded in some places. People will tell you, be realistic. Don't aim too high. Just be grateful you have something. That's fear talking. That's the voice of someone who gave up on their own greatness and wants you to shrink with them so they feel better about settling. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your potential. You don't have to make others comfortable with your ambition. Your life is your responsibility. And your results reflect your choices. Every time you say, this is good enough, when you know it's not, you're choosing average. Every time you scroll instead of starting, every time you hesitate instead of speaking up, every time you procrastinate because you don't feel ready, you're reinforcing the idea that average is acceptable. It's not. Not for you. Not if you want more. Choosing greatness doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you refuse to settle. It means you raise your standards even when no one's watching. It means you commit to showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Greatness is found in the extra mile, the difficult conversation, the early morning, the uncomfortable yes. It's built in the unseen hours. The grind, the persistence. When average says, quit, you don't become extraordinary by accident. You choose it. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. You stop blaming your past. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You stop outsourcing your happiness, motivation, and momentum. You take ownership. You stop drifting. And you start driving your life. Because here's the truth most people avoid. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream about. If you want it, you have to go get it. And that starts with rejecting average in every area of your life, not out of arrogance, but out of purpose, out of the deep understanding that you were made for more. And the only way to get there is to act like it. Your dreams are not random. They're your assignment. Whisper inside you, the pull towards something bigger, that vision you can't shake. It's not a coincidence. It's not something to brush off or ignore. It's a message. It's your mind and heart trying to remind you of who you really are and what you're capable of becoming. Dreams were placed inside you for a reason, not in your neighbor, not in your friend, not in some influencer you follow, in you. But too often, treat their dreams like fantasy, something fun to think about but not to be taken seriously. They talk themselves out of it before they've even taken the first step. I'm not ready. It's too late. I don't have the time, the resources, the support. But here's the truth, that dream you have, it's your responsibility. It's your assignment. No one else is going to build it for you. And the longer you ignore it, the louder the regret becomes. There's a reason you light up when you think about certain things. There's a reason you feel frustrated or stuck when your life isn't aligned with that vision. That's not a flaw, it's feedback. Your dream is the direction your life is supposed to go. But most people bury it under distractions, fear, and the opinions of others. They trade purpose for predictability. They let doubt sit in the driver's seat and wonder why they feel unfulfilled. It's easy to tell yourself it's too big, not qualified, that someone else is already doing it better. But that's just fear dressed up as logic. The truth is the fact that you can see it clearly, vividly. That alone is proof you're meant to pursue it. You wouldn't have the vision if you didn't also have the potential to bring it to life. And no, it won't be easy. Dreams come with resistance. That's part of the process. The bigger the dream, the louder the fear. But resistance is not a stop sign. It's a test. It's asking, how bad do you want it? Will you push through when it gets hard? Will you keep going when no one claps for you? The ones who make it aren't the luckiest. They're the most committed. You don't need all the answers right now. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to start, take the first step, and then the next. And then keep going. The clarity comes from movement, not overthinking. The confidence builds with action, not waiting to feel ready. Every excuse you have is valid, but none of them will build your dream. And remember this, your dream doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't need approval or permission. It just needs you, awake, active, and willing. People may not understand what you're doing, and that's okay. Their assignment, it's yours. And if you don't build it, the world misses out on something only you could create. Your mind is your most powerful weapon, but it can also be your biggest trap. The thoughts you allow, the stories you repeat, the beliefs you carry, They are shaping your reality whether you realize it or not. Most people walk through life thinking their thoughts are facts. I'm not good enough. I'll never figure this out. People like me don't succeed. These aren't truths, they're scripts. Scripts you inherited, absorbed, created in moments of pain, failure, or fear. And the longer you repeat them, the more real they become. You become what you believe. Not what you want, not what you hope, what you truly believe about yourself when no one's watching. That internal voice, the one narrating your life all day long, is either building your future or destroying it. And for many people, it's doing the latter. It's telling them to stay quiet, stay safe, stay small. It's convincing them that their past defines their future, that their mistakes are their identity, and that discomfort is danger. But here's the truth: your mind will believe anything you tell it consistently. That means you have the power to rewire it. Not instantly, not magically, but intentionally. You can challenge the beliefs that no longer serve you. You can disrupt the patterns that keep you stuck. You can replace thoughts that shrink you with ones that stretch you. This isn't just motivation, it's mental training. And like any kind of training, it takes reps. You don't change your mindset with one good day or one big win. You change it by showing up every day and doing the work, especially on the days when the old voices scream the loudest. Your mindset is not fixed, it's flexible. And every moment you spend strengthening it adds fuel to your growth. That's why protecting your mental space is non-negotiable. You can't surround yourself with people who drain you, media that numbs you, and habits that distract you, and expect to think like a high performer. If you want to win big, you have to think differently. You have to curate your environment, guard your focus, and stop giving energy to thoughts that sabotage your progress. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is moving from a mindset of lack to a mindset of possibility. Focusing on what you don't have and start focusing on what you can create. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and realize that now is your opportunity. Average minds wait for motivation. Strong minds generate it. They choose perspective. They choose progress. Take ownership of the voice in their head instead of letting it run wild. You were not born with limits. You were taught them. And the moment you decide to unlearn those limits is the moment everything changes. You are not your fears. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are the thinker of your thoughts, and that means you can choose better ones. It doesn't mean you'll never feel doubt or fear again. It means you'll stop letting them drive the car. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. Think freedom means doing what you want when you want. But that's not freedom, that's impulse. Real freedom. The kind that allows you to live on your terms, build what you want, and become who you were born to be, requires discipline. It requires saying no when it's easier to say yes. It requires doing what's necessary, not just what's convenient. It means showing up, especially when motivation is nowhere to be found, is what bridges the gap between who you are now and who you're capable of becoming. Every time you honor a commitment to yourself, whether it's waking up early, sticking to your goals, or pushing through discomfort, you build self-trust, and self-trust is the real flex. It's not about being perfect, about being reliable to yourself. When you say you're going to do something and then actually do it, you create a mindset that says, I'm the kind of person who follows through. That mindset compounds. It spills into every area of your life, your relationships, your career, your health, your confidence. Without discipline, even the best ideas fall flat. Everyone wants the results. Everyone wants the glow up, but not everyone is willing to commit to the boring, repetitive, unsexy work that creates them. Discipline is showing up when it's not exciting. It's repeating the basics until they become second nature. It's turning down distractions, protecting your energy, and choosing long-term gains over short-term pleasure. It's keeping promises to yourself when no one else would know if you quit. Love to talk about potential, but discipline is what activates it. Talent without discipline is wasted. Vision without discipline is just a daydream. Passion without discipline burns out. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your systems are built on what you do daily, not occasionally. Discipline is also how you build resilience. When life punches you in the mouth, and it will, discipline is what helps you stand back up. It teaches you to lean in, not run away, to stay focused even in chaos, to keep moving even when progress feels slow. Because it's not about how fast you go, it's about not stopping, and that level of consistency only comes from discipline. It's not something you're born with, something you build. One choice at a time, one action at a time. You train your body to move when it's tired. You train your mind to focus when it wants to wander. You train your spirit to commit when it wants to quit. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes, not because the task gets easier, but because you get stronger. You don't need to overhaul your life in one day. You just need to start showing up differently. Pick one area, lock in, be relentless. Let discipline sharpen you. Once you develop that internal fire, the one that moves even without applause, without validation, without perfect conditions, you become unstoppable. Success leaves clues. It's not some mysterious magical thing reserved for the chosen few. It's a pattern, a formula, a mindset, and a process. The people you look up to, the ones who are living with purpose, power, and impact, they're not superhuman. They just made different decisions. They studied the game. They found the clues. And then they executed over and over again. But here's where most people go wrong. They keep searching for shortcuts instead of studying strategies. Hype instead of habits. They consume inspiration but don't commit to implementation. It's easy to scroll, to watch, to nod along. But if you want real change, you need to start learning from patterns, not just personalities. Every successful person, no matter their field, leaves behind a trail, actions, routines, mindset shifts, decisions made under pressure, and those trails are available to you if you're willing to look. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You need to find the blueprint and build with it. Study the way winners think, how they handle failure, how they manage their time, what they prioritize when no one is watching. Look at how they structure their mornings, what books they read, what they say no to, how they speak to themselves, what they tolerate and what they walk away from. Every one of those things is a clue, and those clues point to results. Most people are too focused on outcomes. They want the $1 million brand, the ripped body, perfect life. But success is always built backwards. Start at the habits. Start at the identity. Start at the systems that create those outcomes. That's where the magic is. The best version of you isn't hiding in some future version of your life. It's hiding in the choices you make daily. Choices that look small in the moment, stack up like compound interest. Success leaves clues, but so does failure. And you need to study that too. Look at what doesn't work. Look at the patterns of procrastination, distraction, negativity, and excuse making. Notice how often you talk yourself out of things. How often you let fear dictate your pace. How often you wait for motivation instead of building discipline. These are not just habits. They are barriers. And once you can name them, you can replace them. Every podcast you hear, every book you read, every time you sit down with someone who's done what you want to do, that's an opportunity to collect clues. Only if you're paying attention, take notes, ask better questions, track the similarities, turn insight into action. Don't just admire success, analyze it, break it down, reverse engineer it, and then build your own version of it, brick by brick, decision by decision. You don't have to do it alone, but you do have to do the work. The good news. The map is already out there. You just have to follow the clues. Comfort is seductive. It feels safe, familiar, and easy. It whispers in your ear that you've earned the right to take it easy, to stay where you are, to avoid the unknown. And most people listen. Their lives around comfort and then wonder why they feel stuck, unfulfilled, or restless. But here's the truth. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Nothing extraordinary is ever built in the comfort zone. Nothing legendary is created by staying safe. Growth lives where comfort ends. It's in the early mornings when your bed begs you to stay, but your goals demand you rise. It's in the uncomfortable conversations that stretch your relationships. It's in the scary decisions that could lead to massive failure or massive growth. Every time you step into discomfort, you teach your mind and body a new language, a new standard, a new identity, and the more you step into it, the less intimidating it becomes. Not because it gets easier, but because you get stronger. Most people confuse discomfort with danger. They think if something feels hard, it must be wrong. But discomfort isn't danger. It's data. It's feedback that you're entering new territory, that you're stretching muscles, mental, emotional, physical, that haven't been challenged in a while. Signal that you're growing, that you're becoming someone new. So instead of avoiding it, lean into it. Hunt it. Build a tolerance for it. Your next level is always hidden behind something uncomfortable. Maybe it's launching the business, having the hard conversation, changing your environment, leaving behind an identity that no longer fits. Whatever it is, it won't come wrapped in ease. It will require a version of you that you haven't fully met yet.